Have you ever had a day where nothing felt meaningful? Not sadness, not anger, just emptiness. You wake up, but you don't feel awake. You move, but you don't feel alive. You speak, but your words feel like they belong to someone else. Everything works, but nothing feels right. There was a man who felt this way for a long time. From the outside, his life looked normal. He had responsibilities. He had routines. He had people around him. But inside, something was quietly fading. Every morning felt heavier than the last. Not because life was getting harder, but because it was starting to feel repetitive, predictable, endless, pointless. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Nothing was wrong, yet everything felt wrong. And the strangest part? He couldn't explain it to anyone. Because how do you explain feeling lost when your life looks completely fine? So he stayed silent. He kept moving, kept pretending, kept hoping the feeling would disappear on its own. But it didn't. It grew, slowly, quietly, like a shadow at sunset. Until one Tuesday afternoon, something small happened. He made a mistake at work. Nothing serious, nothing life-changing, just a small error. But it felt like confirmation of something he already feared. A voice inside him whispered, "You're tired because none of this matters." That thought stayed with him the entire day. And that night, he sat alone in silence. No phone, no music, no distractions, just his thoughts. And for the first time in months, he didn't try to escape them. He let them speak. And they asked him one question: "When was the last time you cared about anything?" He tried to answer, but he couldn't. He realized something important. He wasn't tired from working too hard. He was tired from living without meaning. There's a difference. Physical exhaustion disappears after rest, but emotional emptiness stays, even after sleep. He had been resting his body, but starving his purpose. And that realization scared him, because purpose is not something you accidentally find. It's something you slowly build, one decision at a time, one small action at a time, one honest moment at a time. The next morning, nothing magical happened. He didn't wake up inspired. He didn't feel motivated. He didn't suddenly love life again, but he made one small decision. He decided to care about one thing that day, just one, not everything, not life itself, just one thing. He chose to do one task carefully, not quickly, not mechanically, but intentionally. It felt strange, almost uncomfortable, like using a muscle that hadn't been used in years, but something small changed. For a moment, time felt slower. For a moment, his mind felt present. For a moment, life didn't feel empty. It wasn't happiness. It wasn't excitement. But it was real. The next day, he repeated it. One thing done with care, that was all. Days passed. Then something unexpected happened. He began noticing small details again. The sound of morning traffic, the warmth of sunlight through a window, the quiet satisfaction of finishing something properly. Nothing in his life had changed, but his attention had, and attention changes everything. Because meaning rarely appears in big, dramatic moments. It hides in small, repeated actions. Most people think purpose is something grand, a dream job, a major achievement, a life-changing opportunity. But often, purpose begins in ordinary moments, doing something small as if it matters, because it does. Weeks later, he still didn't have everything figured out, but the emptiness wasn't as loud, and the silence in his mind wasn't as heavy. One evening, while walking home, he realized something simple. The problem was never that life was meaningless. The problem was that he had stopped participating in it. Life doesn't hand meaning to people who are watching from the outside. It reveals meaning to people who engage with it, slowly, imperfectly, daily. That night, he wrote something down. Meaning grows where attention goes. It became his quiet reminder, not to chase happiness, not to chase success, but to stay present. Because emptiness doesn't always mean something is broken. Sometimes it means something inside you is asking to grow. And growth rarely feels exciting in the beginning. It feels uncomfortable, slow, uncertain, but it feels alive. Months later, life still wasn't perfect. He still had difficult days, still made mistakes, still felt unsure sometimes, but he no longer felt disconnected from his own life because he understood something most people miss. You don't find meaning first and then start living. You start living and meaning slowly finds you. One ordinary day at a time, one small action at a time, one decision to care at a time. So if life feels empty right now, it doesn't mean you are lost. It may just mean you've been surviving for too long without truly participating. And participation doesn't require a big change. It starts small. Care about one thing today, just one. That is enough to begin.